You're now tuning into
The Cover Gang.
What's going on, Cover Gang? We're here to recap our Week 14 picks against the spread and their performance. Right now, I'm currently sitting up 5 units. I went 8, 4, and 1 on the week. Tyler went 6, 6, and 1. So that does make me the better of Week 14. I think I've won 4 on the year, and Tyler's won 8. I think it could be 5. We haven't tallied week 13, but it was both of our negative weeks. So even if I won that one, it's not a great one to win because it was barely, probably by a hair. So yeah. So I don't think.
Well, Justin did text me after we recorded our picks, and he was like, "Man, we both coming off a bad week. I've been real sick and stuff. Like, is it cool if you just let me win better?" So
yeah, I did. I was like, can I get one right here, bro? Are you cool to let this slide? Just move out the way.
I made a call to like New Orleans and to Dallas, and I said, just go ahead and kill the Eagles and Panthers so he can cover those two and beat me out. So,
dude, I'm due. I've had the nastiest 2 or 3 week stretch, so I definitely feel good sitting 8-4-1 finally. Right now, it feels like a little bit return of confidence after what's happened lately. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad we didn't just blindly stick to betting heavy on the dogs because, I mean, right now, I think as it sits, depending on the cover, the closing line or the early line, it's like 7 or 6 dogs and favorites. So it's really just right down the middle. So,
right.
And I think tonight we're on both dogs, but kind of feel like it's going to go 1-1. I don't know. I feel like I could see either team just covering, but I don't see both. I mean, we'll see though. But I would love if both, because then that would put me up at 10-4 again. That was my other best week record, so I would take 10-4 any day. But
yeah, I mean 6-6 sounds doesn't sound too good, but I picked my spots. A lot of the losses I had was half unit games. Like I put a half unit on Philadelphia last night just because I told you I thought Dallas would win, but Philly might keep it interesting. And neither one of us felt too solid about the one that pushed Minnesota and Raiders. I think we both put a half on that one. We felt weird about the Houston line. We got off air and we was like, man, we took the Falcons and the Texans, even though it came down so much. We was like, we're gonna be on the wrong sides of those, and lo and behold, we were.
yeah.
But my double unit plays hit. The only one I had Browns, Bills, and Bears. And then I had the Seahawks. Best of the number we could have got at the time was 10.5. But Geno ended up getting ruled out, and I hadn't put anything down on it. And I ended up getting them plus 14, even plus 15.5. I hit it once or twice. So my 4 biggest plays hit. I ended up putting a pretty good amount on the Ravens -7, and that one didn't. I thought coming off the bye that they'd exposed the Rams some, but that was probably one of the best games to watch all day. That was maybe of the year. I mean, it was back and forth the whole time. Went into overtime. Special teams play wins it.
Yeah, that was a tight game. I mean, it felt like the Rams were going to pull it out, but sure enough, they go to OT and Lamar clutches up. But yeah, it's like it's what we get when we record on Wednesdays. Like, we thought that surely Trevor Lawrence wasn't playing. We thought Geno was definitely playing. And then we said that Derek Carr wasn't playing as well, but I mean, it's just as of Wednesday, it's like that's really what it's looking like, and it's just like a weather forecast. We can be wrong, but
and that's why I say on here a lot of the time too. We put our unit size based on Wednesday, but a lot of times I say like, well, I would wait to see if this player's clear because it matters that much. Trevor only moved. I think that all week they kind of knew he was going to play because he practiced throughout the week on that ankle, and by like Thursday or Friday, he was looking very mobile. It didn't look like it was affecting him that much. So the line only really moved like a point.
Yeah.
After he was cleared to play, but yeah, the Geno Smith thing. I mean, went from 10.5 to 15.5 once he got ruled out. It was just skyrocketed up.
They still almost covered the early line, the 10.5, so it was close. I just didn't like that game.
It was a game time decision. They didn't release the news really that there was a chance he really wasn't going to play until Saturday, and by that time my pick'ems and stuff was already in, and I was like, well, I can't even go back and change it. So.
Yeah. And Jets is like one where we always play that, but there was just such heavy line movement, and they haven't covered in spots that they should for us, and we're just kind of like they can't score. Like we're just like whatever, we'll take Texans. But it just
It was already down a couple of people. I think the line movement was mainly because it was going to be such a wet, nasty game, so they figured it would be low scoring. But then C.J. Stroud, he's looked great all year, but he's had some weapons to work with, like Tank and Dalton Schultz. But Nico Collins, he went down in like the first quarter, so
yeah.
it just they just had to ship that one in. And C.J. Stroud, I think he went into concussion protocol at the end of the game too. So
Yeah.
yeah, the Jets routed the Texans at home. I really didn't see that coming, but I understood why the Sharps was coming in on the Jets. I felt like the number had just moved too much, like 6.5 all the way down to 3.5. Like
Yeah.
what's going on?
It's hard to take it after it looks like that with the Jets. But yeah, like I biggest regret was probably that Chargers bet. I literally just did it because of the way the line looked. Like I thought it made no sense to give that much value to the Broncos the way everything's been looking, and here we go. They pull the Chargers again. Like, why would I even do it? And it's like,
I tried to warn you off that one. Like I said, you beat me out this week on. We disagreed on 7-1 push. You won 4, I won 2. But I tried to talk you off the ledger on that one. I was like, this is a coaching mismatch. But I also tried to, I think, talk you off the ledger on
Seahawks
Cowboys Eagles.
and Seahawks.
Oh no, yeah, no, it was Seahawks.
Mainly
Yeah,
that one.
yeah.
Mainly the Seahawks 49ers. But I mean, that one's just it didn't feel good winning, like great winning it, because it's like it's just I don't know. That's a game. That's a hard game to bet when you got 10.5 and they cover it barely, like the early line. It's just like that was close, but yeah, we got the Chargers coming up in a Thursday night football game, so that's going to be interesting, especially with Herbert's fracturing his finger. Probably not going to play for sure. I think
He's already ruled out.
He's ruled out. Yeah, I feel pretty good though. I looked at the spreads. We can maybe even, if you want, pick a game, like say a game that we want to lock in at a number that you think's going to move, or we can look at some lines. But I like some of the spreads already. I feel like I know where I'm at on most of them, but I'm worried about
move.
Right now. I like the Bucks 3.5. I just think that's value, but it's like the Packers haven't played, tonight, and it could move against me. But it's like I don't know. I just have a hard time seeing it move against me. Like, but the Packers
Bucks
just
plus 3.5 in Green Bay.
Yeah, I like that though. I like that bet, but it's like, if the Packers blow out the Giants tonight, then yeah, I guess it goes to 5 or something like that.
Which would help you out if you're on the Bucks side.
Why would that help me? Because the Packers would be favored by 5 after that.
That's what I'm saying.
I like the Bucks. Yeah, I like the Bucks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You would get 5 instead of 3.5.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, if I locked it in right here, because I bet it already. I'll just be honest. Like, I like the 3.5, but it's kind of you're parlaying picks right there at that point. It's like I see the Packers game going a certain way. It's like you're just trying to play the number before you even know if it's gonna move in your favor or not. It's kind of a risk, but
I'd definitely wait on that one too. Just because they're going into tonight without Christian Watson. I'm pretty sure Aaron Jones is not going to play. They have I think he's the second tight end, but he's out. Pretty sure Dobbs is healthy, but they're Jordan Love does not have all his weapons tonight, and Jair Alexander. I think they're going to give him another week. So kind of overlooking the Giants a little bit here. That he probably could have played, but since they're playing the Giants, they're like, we should get a dub here.
But yeah, like, I would say another game I regret from week 14 was the Chiefs. It's like right as I took it and I got off there, I was like, wait a minute, it just doesn't feel sharp at all. And it's like,
You felt that way about the Rams too. Though.
If anything, though, like I took at a double unit. Like I felt so much better about the Cowboys game. Like going into it, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a good cover. But like, it's like I should have double united the Cowboys and just regular united the Chiefs. Like I get taking them, but I mean, dude, like is Kadarius Toney, like how many games is he gonna lose them this year? I mean, he's lost them 2. He's definitely lost maybe 3. Like his offside,
Yeah,
like
well, I mean,
bro.
The receivers in general are just dropping a lot of passes and stuff, but Mahomes, he finally showed some frustration yesterday, but it's apparently it was at the referees instead of at his receiving core. And I mean, I get when you're on the podium, you should you take the blame. You're the face of the franchise. You're the quarterback.
Yeah.
Did throw a little temper tantrum or whatever on the side, but I don't necessarily. I'm not a Mahomes fan whatsoever. I think everybody who listens to me talk knows that. But I do appreciate his competitive drive. Dude was offsides. I mean, that doesn't get called often. A lot of times the refs will tell you to move a couple steps back, or they'll give you a warning or whatever. So I
Yeah.
understand why we were frustrated on that. And then there was a defensive pass interference that got called that didn't get called the week before in Lambeau. So feel like they feel like they've been cheated out some. But yeah, a question for you. Let's see. Chiefs or Eagles?
In trouble more.
Who's more in trouble?
I think the Eagles are. I
I
think
agree.
you could make a case for both, but I just think right now, like, there's no team in the NFC other than the Cowboys or 49ers in my mind that make it to the Super Bowl. Like, it's them two or no one. I just don't.
Well, I still think Philly has a chance, but that's what I'm saying. Like, there's two
I
juggernauts in
don't
the
think
NFC and
they're.
the AFC.
I
It's
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't think they make it again. I mean, it's already hard enough, and we know they got that first place schedule, and we said they would have their woes, but it's really coming to fruition now how lucky they were over some of those games, and I
but they
just
made it. But they made it through the gauntlet. This is the remaining. I think they go to Seattle this week. They play the Giants twice, and then they play who was it? Um, I can't remember, but it's not that good of a team. It might be like the Raiders or something. I can't remember who the other team they play is.
yeah.
But yeah, these last few games is not too difficult. So
I think they'll
they,
get a
they
good seed, but it's just like in my mind, either way it shakes out, if they end up going against the Cowboys and then the 49ers or the 49ers then the Cowboys, whatever way it's seeded out, they're going to lose to one of those teams. They're not going to beat both of them.
they need to get the number one seed right now. San Fran has the tiebreaker, so they're sitting in the one position, but they still have to play Baltimore.
Hmm.
It is in San Fran's, but um, it'll probably be a little bit of a spoiler alert for not this week's picks, but next week's picks. That'll probably be the most I'll put on a game all year is Baltimore.
At
I don't even know what the spread's going to be, but
at
we'll see.
Jags.
No, at San Fran.
Oh, wait. Is that the game? That's not next week, right? The week
It's
after?
not this.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's not this coming week,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
next week.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
Baltimore goes to San Fran. These NFC teams, they just struggle with Lamar. Like Aaron Donald couldn't. He had Lamar wrapped up so many times. It's just like he's all over him. He's like, how did I not leave the game with at least like 2 or 3 sacks? And he just
Yeah.
apparently he sacked every team in the NFL except the Ravens. He just can't
Wow.
because I mean they hardly play him,
Yeah.
but when they do, he can't get Lamar down.
Right. Yeah. I can see that. But yeah, I think it's definitely the Eagles are more in trouble. But I mean, um, how do you feel
I
about the
still
AL?
believe in Jalen though. I mean, I believe in
I believe
Patrick too,
in
but I believe
both
in
of them.
Jalen.
Yeah, I believe in both of them. But I think that it's pretty clear that there's some definitely more dominant teams this year that are snowballing up right here at the end. But what do you picture the AFC picture? I mean, like we both had the Bills coming out, and I mean it's still possible. It just doesn't look great.
Yeah, they play Dallas at home next week. If they win that one, I think Justin Herbert, they'll probably just sit him out for the rest of the year. I don't really see them bringing him back because they play the Chargers after that, and then they play the Patriots and then the Dolphins.
You think they'll rest? I think he'll come back. I think that those finger like injuries heal quicker than most. Like they'll just pop it back in place sometimes. I think he'll
I don't
play.
know. I mean, they've already spent the bag on him. They know they're firing the head coach. Like if they lose to the Raiders Thursday night, it's
Yeah.
at that point you're 4-10.
And then you got to
So
play
the
Denver
season's
in the rematch, and Denver's probably gonna get them at home.
yeah. I mean, Denver's the one that just banged, just hurt them. I mean, they were all over him yesterday.
Yeah.
Even if Justin Herbert didn't get hurt, like they're from the jump, I was like, Denver's not losing this game. Like the charge, it's just they're outsized.
I faded the Broncos the past 2 or 3 weeks trying to catch when they're gonna regress back a little bit, and they just haven't. Their defense with changes, and they're making so many turnovers happen. you can't really call it. But
If Jerry Judy can make, I still
I'm not a
Denver
big
goes.
Judy fan, man. Cortland though and Russell's chemistry is insane. Me and Jason were talking about that. Like they link up so well, and it's insane. Like their chemistry. But yeah, Judy. I don't know, man.
Denver goes to Detroit next week, so that's a tough game. But other than that, they have a pretty easy schedule down the stretch as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Colts Texans. I still think they have to play each other one more time. They're both 7-6 now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bengals. They're coming alive, but they still have a rough schedule down the stretch. I could. I don't. I don't know. I think Jags still.
That's a game that I like next week that I would grab the number. I don't think it, but I don't know if it's available. The one that I really liked, Vikings at Bengals. I would take Vikings. Like I think it was at 4, but I don't see it anymore. I don't think. Let me see. Yeah,
It's 3.5 now.
man. Well, I still like 3.5. Really good, but 4 was looking juice. I knew that kind of would go away, but yeah. I don't know. Look, I mean, we don't have to. I think the lines. I don't know. I'm gonna say it right. I know I'm taking that, like Vikings plus 3.5. I don't want it to move off the half. So can we lock that one in as our look, like one of our look ahead for week 15? Because I know I'm taking it.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the lines at all.
That's
So
one that
I don't have any that I want to lock in.
I don't think it will move more, but I don't want it to. So it's just like I'm gonna say that I'm taking it no matter what happens. I'm betting plus 3.5 Vikings right now. So we'll take that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to jump into this Thursday night look ahead, then we'll pretty much wrap this up and get on with it, and hopefully cover at least one of these games tonight. No way the dogs both get stomped, huh? Like no way.
I feel more comfortable about the Giants than I do the Titans, but
Yeah, that means Titans will cover and Packers will roll.
and Giants. Yep.
Who knows? But we're feeling all right about those ones. All right, so let's get into this look ahead. So yeah, Justin Herbert's not playing, ruled out, as Tyler said. The line was at Chargers -1, but after that injury, it is now at Chargers +3 on the road. For me, even without Herbert, I'm not taking the Raiders. Last week, one of the worst games I've ever seen in my life. We both push on it. The Vikings at the Raiders. They put up 0 points at home. I can't take the Raiders as favorites. Like they're the type of team you want to bet +7.5 or something like that. So even with Justin Herbert out, I just think the surrounding pieces are enough to keep the Chargers in it, and I think they could even win, like upset. So it's that backup quarterback looked bad, like you said, but I mean he was kind of just thrown into the wolves at the same time. So I'm taking Chargers +3 at a regular unit. Don't love it, but I looked at the last 10 between these two teams, and the spread, as far as that goes, it's 5-5. So no real edge in the trend. Just going to take the Chargers also because I think the public is going to take the Raiders pretty good right here.
Yeah, I don't know if they will because they just put up 0 points. So I think.
But everybody's like, Justin Herbert's out. You know how it is.
Yeah, I do, but I'm going to lean Raiders to cover the 3 at home. If it was at 3.5, it's a half unit play for me. I don't love this game, but but I don't know. Keenan Allen or Devontae Adams. I like Devontae more. It's Josh Jacobs or Austin Eckler. Honestly, I think Josh Jacobs has probably played better this year than Eckler has. I think he had a couple good plays yesterday in garbage time, but Brandon Staley said that he was going to start splitting up carries between Eckler, Josh Kelly, and the other running backs because Eckler has been performing as of late.
And
yeah, it's just I rather the interim coach trying to fight to stay a part of the team because the Raiders are looking to hire a new head coach and new staff and everything. I think they're playing for something, and Staley knows that he's cooked. It's just
yeah. I don't blame you. The way this Chargers team looks, I mean, I don't blame you.
Like we always say, Thursday nights usually favor Patriots won in Pittsburgh last week, but it usually does favor the home team because there is no. And like the Chargers are just more banged up than the Raiders are. It's a short week, so I'll swallow the 3 and put a half unit on the Raiders. I don't love it. I could see it being another under game and them pulling it off like 17-14 or 14-10 or something low scoring like that. I don't think it'll be a shootout, but I think the Raiders have the better defense as well in this matchup. So yeah, I'll swallow the 3, even though it does feel a little chalky. But
All right.
maybe they give the public a little gift to start off the weekend.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're split on game 1 of week 15. Starting off good. Tyler's on Raiders -3 at a half unit, and I took Chargers +3 at a regular unit. So not a great game to bet, though, honestly. So it's not a great one, but it's important for what goes on in the AFC West. But it's not a great.
Not really. I mean, both of them's out now, kind of.
If the Chargers somehow, you know what I'm saying, like they could threaten Denver, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah. Kansas City's only 1 game above Denver right now.
That's crazy. I mean,
8-5, 7-6, and Denver's 2-2 in conference, and Kansas City is 3-1. They still have to play the Chargers. They still have to play the Chargers and the Raiders. So
after starting 1-5 is insane.
The way that Kansas City offense has been looking too, man, they got to go. I think they go to New England. New England coming off rest.
Oh yeah, I like that bet. Honestly, I was surprised because it was at 9.5, and I was like, oh, that's gonna come down, but I think it went to 10, and I'm like, oh come on, like I'll double unit that one. Like don't play.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I'd lock in the 10. I could see it dipping back below it.
I feel like it would be 8,
Especially
7.5. You know what I mean? I don't know how it's not 7.5. But
yeah, that's probably where I would put it too. I feel like you're getting a couple points there of value. So,
but yeah, if you want to lock it in, I mean, say you're taking it. But I'm definitely taking Vikings +3.5 because I want the hook. If it goes down, that's gonna suck. So Vikings 3.
Yeah, well, I'll let you off the hook if it gets back to 4. You can lock that.
Nah, I bet it. I mean, I bet it at 4, really, but it's all good. I'd take 3.5.
No, that's what I'm saying. If it goes back to 4, you can just be like, I locked it in at 3.5. I hit it at all of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad either way. 3.5, 4, it's really good, I think. But yeah, that's it for our recap. Tune in for our Week 15 picks this Wednesday. Hopefully, we bounce back pretty good. Like we're trying to finish strong. We had a little skid last week or 2, but trying to finish this out strong. See if we can both get above like 56%. That'd be nice. I last year. I think I finished at 50, right under 55, and Tyler finished at like almost 58 or 59 or something like that. So right now we're a little under that, both of us, a little under that. So we're trying to clean it up in these last few weeks before playoffs and hopefully lock it in. I think we're going to pick the Super Bowl winner. I'm not going to lie, like futures-wise, I took a little dabble on the Cowboys +1,000 because it was on MGM at +1,000 last week, and I was like, I think my Bills one isn't.
I was going to tell you last week too, but you were on the Chargers. I think it was plus. It was either +3,500 or +5,000. You can check the numbers now. I'm sure they've dropped some, but
for Broncos to win the division.
Sprinkle a little bit on Sean Payton, Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I mean,
he gets it starting off 1-4.
Who are they saying? Who are they saying is going to be like Harbaugh or like what? I'm trying to think.
It was like Sirianni when the Eagles only had 1 loss, and then it was D'Amico Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
But then they lost yesterday, so it's still up for grabs. Kyle Shanahan could get it with, I don't know. I haven't looked at the odds, but last time I looked at it,
where can you bet?
Yeah.
Like what app? I want to see where I can bet that because some apps don't offer stuff like that. Like they're really weird about futures mid-season, but. See if I can find it.
I just seen it on I just Googled it and looked at like Vegas Insider, and it just tells you across the, what the odds are. But I don't know what particular app you have access to that you can go bet it. I know you can.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for our recap. Make sure to tune into this Wednesday where we'll lock it in, dial it in, see how many we disagree on, and see if Tyler takes the throne back, wins better Week 15. Can't believe we're at Week 15. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Like the video. It helps us out a lot. Thanks for tuning in. Let's cover the spread. As always, peace.